We wish you a merry KenPom. We wish you a merry KenPom. We wish you a merry KenPom. Analytics have dropped. Where do you stand on KenPom in the year of our Lord 2025? I know it's been a wild, swinging relationship. You two have been hot and heavy. You're the on and off relationship in the entire college basketball world. We all pay attention. So, where are you and Mr. Pomeroy at these days?
Yeah, I was unaware that, I thought he was going to play around a little bit leading up into the season. Did not know we were going to hard launch us. But it's good to see you, Ken. Missed you, Stink. It's like we're like we go to that summer camp, we have a nice little fling, but then he goes back to his, home and I go back to mine, and
Yeah.
we'll meet again at Cousins. Shout out to the summer I turned pretty. But Greg, can I go hand up here? Is this like a yearly thing? Like does Ken Palm always drop on like a certain date?
Did you just ask me if it's a yearly thing that KenPom puts out a model that ranks basketball teams?
No, I know it's a model, but is it like a specific day, like leading, like, what I'm saying? Like Christmas is on the 25th. If we don't get like Ken Palm, top 25 or whatever his rankings are by a certain date, or is it just whenever he feels like
No, see,
it?
I think Ken is more of a man of mystery, which I like about him, right? He's kind of the bad boy. I don't know why I'm trying to make this into like a summer house and it's just Ken Pomeroy like on his computer. No, I don't think there's a set date for it. There should be. That would be cool if like National Ken Pom Day was a thing. I don't think that's how it works. I think it's just up to Mr. Pomeroy's choice whenever he decides to do it. However, we are here to talk about the results this year. There are some surprises for sure at first glance when you quickly look at KenPom's projected top 25 teams. But I also just want to say, I don't feel like by no means do we try to represent ourselves as like analytics gurus. People know this. But I do think I've been surprised how many people, both with his preseason rankings drop and also his new like coaches metric he's dropped, how many people like don't understand what KenPom is. Like it is an analytical model. All it is a math equation. That's all it is. It's not, there's no personal feelings involved in his rankings. And I feel like, at least on my timeline, maybe I followed the wrong people because not everybody's understood that. So you can't really be like mad at KenPom results. At least I can't. You can really only be surprised by like what does his data say, and there's a couple of those that I want to talk through with you. Does that track with you though? Have you seen the same stuff on the timeline that I have of like people complaining? It's like
Yeah,
it's a
I
math
have.
equation.
Right, part of my maturation as a man, and that's now I'm not just saying that coming off one of the biggest losing weekends of my life in all aspects. Um, you can I think you put it correctly, but for me, it's like you can nitpick and be like, oh, why is this here? Why is this there? But all it is a model and the information is put. It's same with Evan Mia. It's the same with like, the Ken Palm top 25 coaches came out, and it's because of what goes into the model, how the decision is made. So it's like you can break it down, say you disagree, this, that, and the third. But like the whole like up in arms thing about it, like first of all, KenPom ain't tweeted since March 15th. All right. I don't even know if he's fired up his internet since then, to be honest with you. He just makes his model by hand, and somehow gets it into his computer, probably also by hand. And it is what it is. You look at it, you break it down, and yeah, I do think it always causes an uproar. I do like that he softened the blow though, because that top 25 coaches thing had the pitchforks out.
Very sure, or yeah, for sure. Very true. Very sure. True.
Like I said, we really had a tough weekend.
It's been a really tough week. Should we get into some of the surprising results here? So let's just lay it out. Obviously, I don't feel like I even need to plug this, but go to kenpom.com, subscribe to KenPom. It's the number one first thing that we expensed as a company when we created Sleepers. And it's a great tool for all the reasons you already know. Houston is the number one team in the country preseason 2026 per Ken Pomeroy. Florida is number two. Purdue is number three. It's about as low as you're going to find the Boilermakers in anything in the preseason. Kentucky 4, UConn 5, Illinois is 6th in the preseason KenPom rankings. From there, it goes Duke, Gonzaga, Tennessee, UCLA 10th, Michigan all the way down at 11, meaning they are the 4th best Big Ten team. That was as low as Michigan got voted by media in the Human preseason poll. KenPom has them as low as that in just the Big Ten lens. Texas Tech 12, Iowa State 13, Louisville down at 14. Arizona 15, St. John's down at 16, Baylor 17, BYU down at 18, Vanderbilt 19, snuck that one in there, Wisconsin 20, Kansas, USC, Alabama, Mississippi, and Michigan State locking up the final spot in the top 25. Some other rankings of note, I just want to throw them out. Arkansas 29, North Carolina 33, Indiana 40, Iowa, everybody loves Ben McCollum, Iowa 46. Pretty low there before they got blown out by St. Louis in a secret scrimmage this week. Cart, what was your biggest reaction to the KenPom drop?
I mean, it was Illinois at 6.
Has
It
to
was
be.
it was. And look, I actually have been, I think, higher on Illinois as a team than some of the other people I talk to. Just, obviously others that I communicate with and interact with. Seeing them at 6 was the first initial just like whoa moment of this. Obviously Purdue even being third, it has a little bit of factor into it as well. But yeah, it has to be Illinois at 6. I was just that one caught me off guard.
Is that like obviously it's high? Does that make you think twice at all about how you personally view this Illinois season coming in?
I think it backs it up for me. I think it
Backs
backs it.
backs it up.
Yeah, me and KenPom think Illinois is going to be good.
You think
He thinks they're going to be really good.
I mean, how good? I don't feel like I've heard you like camping for Illinois this summer.
No, but I think they're top like 20. I think I have them like 18, 20, something like that.
Yeah, that's where everybody has them. That wouldn't be a surprise.
Well, we both think they're good. Meet us in the middle, and we'll be at like Illinois 12.
Okay. I mean, I think look, two things for me. Normally when a team is like 15 spots higher than I would put them, that is a massive data point to me. That means we're all missing something. And that goes both ways. If a team is like 15 spots lower than I have them, same thing. I should probably look twice about this. In fact, I think that's a pretty interesting thing to raise for Louisville, St. John's, BYU. Teams that have gotten a lot of love that we've been promoting as top 10 teams that are like pretty far outside the top 10.
Hmm.
Illinois, for me, it's very interesting because we've been talking about this privately for about a month, and then his coach metric came out. Illinois usually outperforms their preseason KenPom rating, which would typically, in my mind, dictate that Brad Underwood is actually like his program is usually not put where they belong in the preseason, right? Because if you constantly outperform, that would mean you're ranked too low in the preseason. So like it's confusing to me because the program for Illinois under Brad Underwood to me has not been like, oh, they get boosted by the analytics early. It's usually the opposite. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out like what is it about this year's roster that would put them that high? Because again, it's gotta only be the players. Or maybe there's an element of like Brad always outperforms it that bumps him up a little bit. But like I don't know. I'm looking at this roster. It's built around guys that don't really have a statistical history that could even swing this positively. You know what I mean? Like, how is Mihailo Petrovic? What is he quantified as in this model that puts Illinois sixth?
So in my head, like those guys don't even really factor into the model. And then when you look at it the other way,
So what gets them to sixth?
I mean, I
If
could
because
be
it's
completely,
got to be the
I could be
Euros.
completely wrong because I haven't looked at like player type things yet. But like analytically, do you think guys like Kylan Boswell, Big Z,
That doesn't
even
add
like
up to six.
you said what?
That can't add up to six. It can't add up to six. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to ask Ken about it. But, like, just stepping back, you look at this Illinois team, like, what is the pitch? The pitch for this Illinois team to actually be sixth in the country good is Petrovic is awesome. Keaton Wagler's awesome. Like Mirkovic is probably giving you good minutes. Like all these dudes that have no history of playing college basketball are really good. And I'd have to assume, if I know how this works, historically, those guys don't really swing positively for you on paper until there's data of what they do in college basketball. Dion, you okay? You look a little sweaty.
So every August, September, my air conditioning breaks, and there's just nothing I can do about it.
Dude, that's tough. Out in California too. Like, I mean, what is it, like 80 degrees still there today?
Today's gonna be like 85, 90, but like peak summer, it gets like 110. My AC just doesn't ever hold up.
I mean, it sounds like it's a bummer that you can't take advantage of Duncan Mechanical Solutions because Duncan Mechanical Solutions is an HVAC company based in Angola, servicing the tri-state area, bringing commercial quality to the residential world with excellent customer service. You heard us talk about Duncan Mechanical last summer. If you need heating or air conditioning, kitchen or bath remodeling, or all of the above, Duncan Mechanical is the place to go in the Midwest. Go to DuncanMechanicalSolutions.com to take advantage and make sure you don't wind up like Dion. So it again, I'm just surprised by it. Not necessarily like it's not stunning to see Illinois sixth. It's stunning to see Illinois sixth if it's based on the returnees. If it's just based on Boswell, Stojakovic, Humrickhouse, Ivisic, that does not feel anywhere close to the sixth best team in the country to me. And I think that's what his model's spitting out to us.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously, I mean, there's no like player type stuff on here yet. Um, he has them sixth offensively, 16th defensively. So top 25 in both, top 20 in both, offense and defense. 23 and 8 overall. I mean, there's just not I would have to see. But look, I think you're right. Even I think Illinois' best case scenario ceiling isn't the sixth best team in the country.
See, I buy that maybe that's the best case scenario. I really do.
Really.
But it's just confusing to me how it's now that they're assigned that. Because again, unless there's some like I don't know, element of this model that I haven't followed in the past that does qualify the Euros, and we're saying Petrovic is going to be awesome. Like if
Yeah.
Petrovic qualifies in his database as awesome coming into the season, then
Yeah,
I
what they
get
finished
this.
last year? What they finished last year in KenPom? 17th? Yeah.
But even like last season in the preseason, they were 23rd, and they had like more talented Euros than this year's team, right? So I'm just a little I don't follow if it's based on the returnees or not. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because if it's the returnees, I don't get it. But anyways, I feel like that was everyone's main surprise was just seeing Illinois that high. What else surprised you here? Are you mad
So there,
about Purdue at 3?
I don't think it's enough to be mad about, um, in my opinion. But there was another one that I actually wanted to bring up that was on like the reassurance side, is that like St. John's was at 16th.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, that's a certified top 10 team. I'd seen them as high as like 4 or 5. I think Borzello had them maybe fifth or sixth in his preseason. So another one that I think KenPom is a little bit lower on, and that backs up how I feel about St. John's. I'm just very intrigued to see what that team actually looks like.
BYU at 18. Can we talk through that?
Yeah, BYU 18, one spot ahead of Vanderbilt.
Like, dude, this is why I'm so confused by it. Like BYU returns Rob Wright, a great college basketball player, Richie Saunders, an All-American college basketball player, Keba Keita, a starter from a team that finished top 20 on KenPom last year. Like all these kind of proven college basketball things, and they add the second best recruit in the class. And preseason, they're 18th. They're 12 spots lower than the team with Boswell. And if it's like I'm confused by it. Doesn't that confuse you? Why do you think it's so low for BYU here?
Because I think KenPom is an analytics website that goes based off actual sample sizes, and there are none. So that's the confusing part to me here.
Yeah. Well, actually, looking back, I guess BYU finished 26th on KenPom last year. So that's lower than I remembered.
But even like, how do you put somebody offensively and defensively ranked when you don't even have player information or statistics.
What do you mean? Who do we not have that on for BYU? Just
Well, I was just
Devonta?
saying, like, I was just saying in general, like, even back to Illinois, like, we don't have anything on the Euro guys.
Right.
And BYU, you have nothing on Devanza. I mean, you do have like, see, but that doesn't make sense because it's just what you said. I feel like you got proven college basketball players that are analytically great. Like Kennard Davis is a great, it would probably grade out great in this exercise.
Like
So,
Saunders Wright Kata is like a great proven core that yeah, I'm just confused on it. Just confused. But hey, that's fine. Kansas is down at 21 also. That's another team that's kind of really relying on a freshman, so maybe that's part of it. Um I don't know. Like biggest things that jump out to me just I'm shocked Illinois is at 6. I'm actually not all that surprised Michigan is 11th and in a weird way good to see UCLA ahead of them at 10 because I've been a big proponent of UCLA this offseason. I feel like everyone's been kind of skeptical of that until now. Kentucky at 4 is the highest you're going to see Kentucky. So KenPom buying the Wildcats and their depth and again, maybe a larger contingent of proven college basketball players at Kentucky that makes sense. Purdue at 3 to me, they have by far the number one offense per his model right now, like a 3-point gap between them and the number 2 offense, but 29th defensively. Now, remember last year, Purdue had the 53rd best defense in the country. So I think this is the leap that most Purdue fans want their team to take. And it's like, oh, we don't need to be elite defensively. We just need to like be in the top 30 and we'll win it all. Even if you take a 20 spot leap, you're still far below Houston, who's a lot more balanced per KenPom. So I don't know. You could be the third best team in the sport and win it all. But I think this does sort of speak to maybe some lingering defensive questions for Purdue coming into the year.
yeah, and I think that, the thing that we brought up a couple times is that, there is a sample size at the high major Division I level of Oscar Clough not being that great
Yeah.
analytically, like when it comes to certain things. And even the great players that they have, like TKR, he's one of the more divisive players, especially in these analytical settings, because he is that bad defensively.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that seeing them at 3 is definitely like, okay, that's if they went any spot lower, then I think you cause a complete uproar. But I think you can see, given the two teams in front of them, what kind of KenPom's looking at least in that small space.
Yep, that all tracks. Okay, we're gonna do a segment on this for the full episode tomorrow, but let's just play a quick game here. Give me a top 10 team that you think falls the most by the end of the year. Illinois feels like the obvious answer, but I don't know. Let's give a non-Illinois answer just so we don't both take the easy answer here.
Mm. Like falls, you're talking about falls in like actual KenPom rankings, correct?
Yes. Like by season's end, there's
Yeah,
the biggest
because I was gonna
gap.
try to throw out there Gonzaga, but I feel like analytically they're always gonna find themselves in that spot.
I have one that I actually think falls more than Illinois. Even because
Ooh, ooh.
Illinois, I think finishes like 15th, 9 spot drop, whatever.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna hold that against them.
Hmm.
I think there's a team that falls a lot here.
Who?
Florida.
Ooh.
I don't follow. I mean, I do follow it. They're huge. They return so many members of a key defense. I'm sure Lee and Flan both grade out pretty great analytically. Um, I think they've got no depth. I think the three big thing is not going to work. I think it's putting a lot on Boogie Flan, who, as you have mentioned, was not the guy for Arkansas last year. They were better without him. So I will sell big on Florida. I think they drop outside the top 15 by the end of the year in a loaded SEC. And that'd be like what a 13, 14 spot drop at least to get outside the top 15.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm trying to. I'm between because I want to go outside the obvious answer of Illinois. I'm gonna say out of the top 10 teams, I don't feel great about this, but I'm actually gonna say Duke.
Whoa, because they weren't really. I wouldn't say they were ranked positively here at 7. That feels like about the mean of where you'd expect Duke right now.
Yeah,
So you're just
I think
selling?
they dropped somewhere in like that 15, 16 range. So not like crazy far, but not 7.
Okay.
I just
All
have
right.
quite like the guard plague thing is still very much a factor to me. I think Big Pat is good. Also got to see it in a larger sample size instead of just being like a spark plug type guy. And I also don't want them to fall victim to the we got so many guys as a 3. Is it because you got so many guys or you don't have a guy?
Really interestingly to me, Illinois and Duke are graded out almost identically as teams right now. Illinois, the 6th best offense, 16th best defense. Duke, the 7th best offense, 17th best defense. KenPom projects two very different tempos for those teams, but like in terms of caliber, thinking of Illinois and Duke the same is like kind of crazy in my mind to think of
Yeah.
coming into the season. So, all right, now give me on the flip side, give me a team that rises the most from anywhere. I think the right move is to pick a team that's like in the 40s that's going to jump like crazy. That's probably if we're trying to actually solve for the right answer, but I don't know.
Yeah, let me quickly because I was on the top 25, but let me get to the
Creighton's at 41. That's your boys.
those are my babies, I must say. Um,
I got a Big Ten team that I'm buying here.
ooh. Yeah, I think yeah, I'll go Creighton.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Creighton.
I'm gonna take Washington at 45.
I knew you were gonna do that.
I think Washington's a top 25 team by the end of the year. They're
I knew you were gonna
45th
do
on
that.
paper.
That's good. It's fair.